over from South Florida, and it's a 3-point Alabama lead.
You know, interesting enough with St. Mary's the other night, the longer possessions, yeah, they didn't have as much success. Sears with the delivery also.
Omori, by the way, in the tournament, still hasn't missed the shot. He's 12 of 12. Marciulionis. 10 points for the two-time All-American. Marciulionis starting to catch fire for the Gales.
Just like the other night there, though. He knew that was wide left.
Here's Marciulionis.
So
gliding to the cup.
His reads are so few times.
Holgard going right into the chest of Barrett. A little bit of contact, good defense.
Yep, not going to be an easy way to get to the basket with Barrett standing there.
Boy, this thing feels like a slugfest right now. Here comes Marciulionis underneath. Boy, resourceful. All to come on AT&T at the half.
I like this full court action. Just enough to keep your feet in front of him and not let him get his rhythm on the offensive end. So Vanderbilt is doing a very good job of that, just getting in the way. Here's another example of the hedge. They get in the way. When you look up, there's 10 seconds on the clock.
Here comes Marciulionis, just so masterful with his body control, Jim. His angle by Barrett.
Barrett and Mignon are kind of carbon copies of one another the way they play.
Yes, they are. Just incredible to see the fight between these two teams. Marciulionis! The ball. Edwards has 18, and we're tied again.
Boy, did Edwards ever take over that one possession, both defensively, good screen out front by Saxon. That one hurt.
Marciulionis, he dials it up.
Talk about the need for St. Mary's to get off to a hot start. They're not really built to come back from large deficits. Now, this isn't a large deficit, but you've got to start executing at the offensive end and getting some cleaner looks.
Took Morauskas out. Wessels is in. Marciulionis against Huff. Marciulionis gets his first basket.
They got Ryan Nemhard on Mikey Lewis right now. Nolan Hickman, who did a great job defensively last night against Beasley.
Marciulionis.
He was guarding Marciulionis a little too much that time. Great job by Barrett, though, to kind of pull the chair, and then he got caught in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, that was a veteran move. Marciulionis, little pull-up jumper.
And he will. But if you can draw that foul, that is more important than any made bucket you can get on this individual possession.
I think it's a good point. Now you got Nemhard back on Jordan Ross. Trying to...
That's why you got to bring in Lewis, because then he can't hide it.
Ross just is not an aggressive scorer. Mikey Lewis is. Marciulionis goes down the lane with a left hand. The fire's in Malibu. Campus closed, evacuated. Students, faculty, staff, basketball team, everybody impacted.
They were practicing at Cal Lou in Thousand Oaks.
Couldn't even get into their own practice facility. There's Marciulionis.
How you feeling? He goes, I feel like I haven't played a game in 2 weeks. I said, are you being honest or are you lying to me? He didn't answer that question. I love it, though. His mentality. He's got such a great motor, such a great heart.
Marciulionis, that's his second basket in a row. I think a semifinal game in a conference championship tournament, I think they're watching.
That's dedication.
We're going to pretend.
I'm not sure my family's watching.
And see, look what they got to see.
Trapping him. They're doubling him now on all on-ball screens.
Bad pass. Budka tried to feed Odom. Here comes Marciulionis. That's St. Mary's version of a fast break.
We got an opportunity. We got numbers. Yeah, let's pull it back out.
That's how they play. It's been a winning formula for them for a long time. One of the winningest programs in college basketball over many, many years. And there's
going away. Big part of that is their second chance points. 11-0 in this game in second chance points. And they have opportunity to add to that total on this possession. The other thing is the ability to draw fouls.
Marciulionis lays it in. Great pass.
Odom, really good player.
He is.
Just a junior.
Marciulionis attacks with a foul.
different from the. And you could just tell sitting courtside, there's a swag right now. There's a confidence. They believe they can play with St. Mary's.
Saxon. Harry Wessels is in. Marciulionis uncorks the three and hits it.
Like, you have to make sure that area is cleared. Some teams even do their, bench talk. They bring benches out on the floor to do that. You got to make that sure it's a little bit less slippery.
Marciulionis. Barrett, baseline. Lewis, corner, blocked. Barrett, shot clock down. Marciulionis, got it. This is a good team. They lost a heartbreaker their last game out. Lewis misses and taken back by Augustas. Between the legs to Marciulionis. Oh!
Points now to go along with 6 rebounds.
Averages 8 a game. And Oregon State back on top. These teams traded the lead throughout the first half. Marciulionis down the lane. Got it. The tie against Barrett. Gets in and misses. Saxon sucks up another rebound. 9 rebounds for Saxon to go with his 4 points.
Watch Mikey Lewis here against the zone.
He's got a taller man on him if we're tied. Now switching over is Munch. Clock's at 4. Marciulionis step back heave. Oh! It's a 7-0 run now.
Carrawell's been tremendous. 8 points, 4 of 5 from the field. He's been able to get to the paint both on isolations as well as pick and rolls.
Marciulionis almost walked into Amy over Asanza and a bucket there. This guy is Lions. Porter in traffic. Had a man open and he couldn't find him.
Well, Barrett just flew in from nowhere in transition to corral that rebound. It's a perfect example of them.
And Marciulionis. Marciulionis. And
to get into a good flow on the offensive end of the floor. Clearly credit St. Mary's defenses. They've done a good job throughout the season, but LMU has forced St. Mary's away from their strengths a lot tonight as well.
Marciulionis kicks. Morauskas. Wessels spinning.
Good defense from Asanza there.
Marciulionis, that's beautiful. Rising with the left hand.
So important when you play in this environment to get off to a good start. Ryan Demhard rattled out. Because the Zags can blitz you. Marciulionis went right by Demhard. A lot of contact, no whistle, scores the... Ross spin move. Jordan Ross, no good. Saxon kicks it out. Marciulionis knocks down the 3 off the...
Up to a great start in Moraga. Then disappeared a little bit. And Payne missed both free throws.
Ouch. I'm going to say Mitchell's not going to shoot this one.
I mean, I'd be kind of impressed if he did.
Marciulionis knocks down the 2.
A lot of
pretty strong rap connection in basketball in the U.S. and in Australia.
Rep had a lot of offers to play in the NBL out there in Australia as Marciulionis goes underhand. Wessels has been on a heater as of late.
He's provided really good minutes for the Gales offensively and defensively. He's made some, shall we say, highlight reel blocks in the last few games.
If you go back to the Gonzaga game, he's probably playing the best basketball of his career as Augustas. And he's got both from the line, and Portland back within 2. Marciulionis, left elbow, a pilot on the ground. That was the subject of a bobblehead or a gnome giveaway. Does it actually look like you?
Yeah, well, anyway.
As an avid collector of bobbleheads and gnomes, I would say very rarely.
Okay, fair enough.
Saxon out to Marciulionis. Little running floater and a pretty strip.
Another 2 more good point guards for the Gales.
Well, that was a fun tandem just a couple of years ago. Marciulionis grabs the rebound, his 9th, one away from a double-double. Marciulionis.
Might have gotten away with a walk.
I think you're right. You get that when you're the player of the year in the conference, right?
That's what I hear.
Marciulionis open thanks to the screen, knocks down the triple. Next in the standings, and with the way that Portland's schedule closes out after this game here tonight, Steve, you and I were talking, it's not out of the realm of possibility that they could get all the way up to potentially a 6th seed.
And that would be big in terms of the WCC tournament. Oh. And a beautiful move by Augustas.
Down low, nobody home except Jordan Ross. Out to Marciulionis, and he's got the 3.
St. Mary's are really impacting shots at the rim, especially for the guards of Washington State.
Marciulionis with the right, he can. Washington State has not scored in over 3 minutes. That's spanning back to the first half. As former Super Bowl MVP Mark Rippon happy, the former Coug, watching us now on ESPN, a Super Bowl MVP and very proud alum in the NCAA tournament. Steal by Marciulionis, and he lays it in. Spectacular game to go with Marciulionis is just typical. There's a tip again that Saxon does all the time, and so you get a fresh 20. And Marciulionis drives all the way in. Smart play by Marciulionis. Marciulionis, good.
Isn't scoring it as he did a season ago, but he is talented 7-footer who can pick and pop, put the ball on the deck, get out in transition.
Augustas Marciulionis. Marciulionis launching a 3, and he banks it in right around. Is that what you used to do?
Yeah.
Loose ball, knocked away. Here comes Marciulionis leading the break for St. Mary's. Marciulionis finishes. He's got all 5 for the game-point lead for St. Mary's. Augustas Marciulionis fires a 3.
Terrific job. Gets Marciulionis defender to commit just enough.
Back the other way, Mahi missing on the drive. And the rebound, Harry Wessels. Augustas Marciulionis somehow got that up and in.
Doncic, where he kind of has that slow break into the finish.
And Carlos Stewart attacks the basket, denied at the rim by Harry Wessels.
What a block.
Augustas Marciulionis drives the foul and 1
on that 3-point attempt.
Spin move down low and the miss by Elijah Mahi as the Gales collapsing on Mahi. Augustas Marciulionis. 16 for Johnny O'Neal.
And again, made free throws allows Santa Clara to pick up 3/4 court pressure. Not necessarily trying to steal it, but take some time off the clock. Maybe get someone other than Marciulionis to initiate offense.
Just have Marciulionis initiate offense.
They were trying to foul Ross. They couldn't get it done in time. Now expect Marciulionis to wind this shot clock down as much as possible.
There he is. Marciulionis gets to the bucket.
That's a tough one.
Early appearance for Ashton Hardaway, the son of Penny Hardaway. Transfer from Memphis, 6'8" sophomore, played 1 year for his dad and transferred out to play for Randy Bennett at St. Mary's.
1-2-2 press, back to the zone.
Augustas Marciulionis rattles in a three.
For 2 right now.
Arsafala banging away with Mitchell Saxon, and the rebound grab by Luke Barrett. Here come the Gales. Marciulionis on the drive, and the left hand from Augustas. Arsafala up and under. And he lost it going up and throws it right to Augustas Marciulionis in St. Mary's. We'll bring it across again. Augustas Marciulionis on the drive, gets to the basket and one.
String together 15. They want to get right back on track today.
3 missed by Isaiah C. Sophomore from France. On the drive, Augustas Marciulionis. Ended on Thursday night at USF. Wild shot thrown up and a miss by Latoris Lelovicius. And here is St. Mary's. Approaching 11 minutes to go in this opening half. Marciulionis on the step back and a three. Inside 10 to shoot. Spinning. And the block shot as Luke Barrett denies Isaiah C.
Outstanding defense by Barrett. He moved his feet, kept his hands out of there, made a block, and kept it in play.
Augustas Marciulionis, the floater.
It's just so great to see him back on the sidelines.
So amazing. And Dickie V is back, and wonderful to see him on a game today at Clemson, in a thrilling game and a huge victory for Clemson over Duke. Off 1 foot, Augustas Marciulionis down the lane. Lingard, who fades away, misses the shot. And San Francisco still scoreless first 2 minutes of this game.
Lingard's got terrific touch. He's got freedom behind the three-point arc. Not sure if the fadeaway over Saxon's defense is what Chris Gerlison wants.
Marciulionis, just a beautiful hesitation.
He's been a terrific addition as a freshman. His father played here in the mid-2000s. Got off to a terrific start, and then the usual freshman ups and downs, but they love his potential.
Marciulionis, another three, knocks it down.
You know, St. Mary's, you've got to have perimeters who can create space and opportunities, whether it's a shot for themselves or others. Beasley fits that description.
It's one way you keep the Gales from dominating on the glass. You make a lot. Malik Thomas takes a rare break. Ashton Hardaway in the game for St. Mary's took that inbounds pass.
San Francisco now in his own, something they had a fair bit of success seeing Gonzaga do the other day. They're going to try that themselves.
That's a good way to it.
Year one.
I bet you he's been itching to say diaper dandy.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just a guess. Ryan Beasley knocked down the shot to tie the game again. Marciulionis, another drive and another bucket.
Matchup is get downhill in transition.
That's the first lead for San Francisco in this first half, after a very slow start to the game. Marciulionis again on the bench and has not been a factor at all.
It leads you to believe that Marciulionis is going to need to continue to be aggressive to score. Already has 15 here in the first half.
He has been the offense in a lot of ways for the Gales. And there he goes again. I mean, why stop?
Exactly.
Back, passes up the three. Wang will shoot it. In and out. Bodies flying everywhere. Well, they left Marciulionis wide open. He knocks down the three on this end. Timeout. Hickman, three. Way off the mark. Saved inbounds, but saved to St. Mary's.
They got numbers. Will they take advantage of it? This Gales team plays a little bit more deliberate and opportunistic at the offensive end. When they have a chance, they will take it.
Marciulionis three. Against Saxon. Big man puts it in for Gonzaga. And thanks to Carl Ravitch, Jimmy Dykes, those of you joining us from Kentucky. And
time, and it was questionable if he was playing tonight. I asked him at shoot-around, Rich, have you ever scored 35 before? He goes, you mean ever? I go, yeah. He goes, of course, in high school, multiple times. He's like, I'm sorry, I didn't know. Now Tilly, this. That's 7-footer on 7-footer. Here comes Morauskas.
I think what you're seeing for Santa Clara on offense, Saxon's out of the game. Last year's Conference Defensive Player of the Year. So now they're just attacking the basket with no fear.
Marciulionis
just break a guy off the bounce from the perimeter.
Marciulionis, that's just a man's move. There will be an interesting conversation.
He's been so good his entire career. Look how stoic he is. Just showing confidence.
Marciulionis is showing confidence.
The versatility of Lawan Watts, it really allows David Riley to play at this pace. A big wing who can get it off the glass or pick up a steal and push in transition himself, make a play for himself or others.
Marciulionis rising high and scoring. Watts against Barrett, step back jumper. And Morauskas has the rebound. You get a sense St. Mary's is starting to find a little bit of rhythm on offense. Marciulionis spinning and scoring.
Nice play.
Ross hunting. Marciulionis, big step and score, and one.
The way.
St. Mary's turns it over and then gets it back. Marciulionis taking over right now.
Too high or too low. He continues to make plays. He reads the defense, and next thing you look up, St. Mary's is up 3 with under 8 minutes to play.
Marciulionis thought about the 3. Takes it. It's a 3. Hits it.
When you go on the road, it is difficult to bring your own energy, your own juice. We saw that in the first half. St. Mary's slow to get going. This game is definitely now being played at their pace.
Another 3. Marcus Williams tries to drop it off, but turns it over off the hands of Lingard. Marciulionis on the run. Marciulionis weaves his way in. Right back into the hands of Marciulionis.
Mismatch inside.
Off the bounce, Marciulionis takes a bump. Count the bucket. They could have got it to within 10.
Yep.
Both of these teams have gone cold.
Yep.
San Francisco just 2 for 10 shooting in the second half. Off the runner. Marshall.
Have to cut away at that lead. 40-24 St. Mary's, and that's without Marciulionis scoring any points. Their leading scorer, 14 a game, driving to the basket, throws it up and in. 28% in the first half, 9 of 32. The Gales 45%, 14 of 31. Yet the Waves started the game just 3 of 20 and didn't score for almost 6 minutes in that first half. All right, Marciulionis to the basket, puts it up and in. 97 through 2003. He was at Grand Canyon the last 4 years under Bryce Drew as a top assistant. As Marciulionis gets inside, kicks it back out in front. With the basketball, Ashton Hardaway, the 6'8 sophomore. He's from Southern California. Carson, despite his dad being the head coach at the University of Memphis, here's driving to the basket, laying it in. And he's a double-double. All right, this is Odom driving, finding Coulibaly, who fumbled the ball. And here's Marciulionis to Ashton Hardaway, back to Marciulionis, laid up and in. 6. Tonight's game brought to you by NMDP, National Marrow Donor Program. Another missed shot by Pepperdine. And the Gales, the Waves, the good news, they don't have to play St. Mary's anymore. Gales won back up in Moraga on January the 2nd, held the Waves to 41 points. And on the same path again tonight, Marciulionis with the land.
Baseball are evident to all who knew him. Brian's unexpected passing leaves a void in our hearts, but his legacy will continue to inspire us both on and off the field. We will forever be grateful for his friendship and unwavering support of San Diego baseball. Our thoughts and prayers are with his family.
Marciulionis and Marciulionis, both from Lithuania up top. This one up and good again. Truitt. Driving again. Waiting with a fadeaway. It's no good. Marciulionis will pull it down. Marciulionis going for 3 this time. It's good.
Season a year ago, WCC Player of the Year. Saxon gets his offensive board and tips it away. He'll do that a lot. Marciulionis for 3. And Augustas is on the board.
See him like to work on that drive. He's capable of getting that baseline, squaring his shoulders up over the top. He has a little bit of a size advantage that they can utilize in tonight's game.
Marciulionis gets the screen from Saxon, keeps it himself, and Marciulionis is 2 for 2. Marciulionis with the steal. Goose dunks it. Marciulionis with another steal. Marciulionis off the glass. Marciulionis had that first game you went to, totaled 100 points. Would Sean Farnham have developed into the Sean Farnham he is today, the multimedia star?
Oh, how about that? Marciulionis.
Hardaway now on the stat sheet with an with a rebound, defensive rebound. Marciulionis, a new career.
We'll just jump it.
Portland started out 3 for 5, just 1 for 5. Since then, they've missed their last 4 shots. Dang deep now on Saxon. Marciulionis with the open wing 3, knocks it down. McKinnon back to Rapp, 15 on the shot clock. Had it poked away.
Marciulionis, really quick hands.
Ross with it, back to Marciulionis. And McKeever against Delano right now on the block. Hardaway, extra pass to Ross. Marciulionis, the 3. Sinks it. He's got 6 points.
Rapp, I feel, is like pressing a little bit.
Marciulionis took it to him, and he tips in his own miss. 8 points for
It's a ball like that, and a team that can get very hot and can get very streaky.
Gales will start with possession here the second half, looking to build onto their lead.
If you're Portland, you really need to stop on a score here to start the half.
You want to talk about how good this defense has been. Marciulionis has 8 double-doubles on the season for St. Mary's. He had just 3 points in that first half. He had it taken away, 6 on the shot clock. Marciulionis attacking the hoop. Around Balasegar Webb.
That's they're in transition. Miscommunication. They're going to go back to this 2-2-1. The zone has been pretty successful, except for in rebounding category.
Deed saved it from going out of bounds. Marciulionis saved the possession and count it.
On the boards, but get yourself in a position to score.
Marciulionis gets his own, miss using the left hand. It's back in. He's got 13 points. He trails Marciulionis for the game high.
Well, he's got the hot hand for Portland, so Portland needs to try to get him some looks.
Averaging 9.9, so now over his seasonal average. Saxon, he's got 3 fouls. Marciulionis from deep. Points now on the evening with 4 rebounds and 2 assists.
Kind of quiet night offensively for him. St. Mary's done a nice job of taking him out of any type of scoring opportunity.
Marciulionis, high off the glass. That floater right over the hand.
St. Mary's surviving the first missed shot by Pepperdine of the second half.
And Augustas Marciulionis there trying to get the Gales set. They had a couple of possessions that weren't particularly St. Mary's-like. And Augustas as the point guard and the senior trying to get them into a better spot.
Deep 3 for Marciulionis, and he drains it. Problem was Utah State shot about 65% in the second half against the Gales, and while St. Mary's was able to trim it to a final deficit of 7, they were never able to get closer than 6. After at one point trailing by nearly 20, Marciulionis was falling away on the WC. One of the local West Coast Conference rivalries to get us started here in WCC play. St. Mary's and Pacific. Gales up by 16. And with great ball movement off the timeout, Augustas. St. Mary's just 5 of 18. Loose ball. There's Barrett coming away with it. Gales have a 3-on-1. Barrett to Marciulionis. The finish and the foul. In front of McKeever. And it's 12-5 Utah State. Well, that was something that St. Mary struggled with against Merrimack, defending the 3. They gave up 12 three-pointers to the Warriors as Marciulionis gets one off the glass. And I'm seeing some high-level basketball here in the early goings tonight. So that was Martinez with his first points. Lewis, you don't see him assist too often. That's just his 10th collegiate assist. Finds Barrett. Fakes a 3, spins out to Marciulionis for 3. He drains it. Johnson to the bench, and Tucker Anderson onto the floor. Marciulionis, Dent, fakes a 3, now finds Marciulionis for 3, drains it. Hardaway to the corner for Joshua Dent, too strong. Barrett with another offensive rebound.
We're going to put this in perspective for how good a win this would be for Utah State. St. Mary's has lost 2 games this season. Both games.
Look on Barrett, and he drains it right in front of his face and ties the game up.
And Bud Clark giving his teammates a lot of enthusiastic encouragement. And why not?
Merrimack, 6 of 11 from distance tonight. St. Mary's, 1 of 6. That's the story. Marciulionis through the paint. He finishes away on Marciulionis, and now Bud Clark's heating up.
Bud Clark's doing Bud Clark things.
A quick 6 here in the first 6 minutes of play in the second half. We have not had a stoppage yet here in this second half. All of a sudden, both teams have made their last 3 shots. Marciulionis weaves through again with the left hand. It's 8 points here in the second half on 4 of 6. So the efficiency better, the output better. He's having himself a big night. And that's something that I think we were kind of hoping we'd see out of the Gales big man tonight, knowing there was going to be a size advantage down low for him. If the Gales could work it to him, this was a night where he could eat, and he certainly has. Down to 7 to shoot. Morauskas flips it out to Marciulionis, wide open for 3.
Along the free throw line to have Paulus Morauskas either score or become a playmaker.
Marciulionis, the inbounds to Marciulionis, he flippered it right back to him. That was pretty fun.
And Marciulionis did a good job of getting off the baseline.
Mark fading away and hitting it is Devin Savage. He's got another three-pointer.
Yet again, that was not bad defense by the Gales. That was just an excellent shot by Mr. Savage.
5-point game. Out to Marciulionis to counter. He's got it. 90 to go.
And a big possession right here for the Gales. I think that you want to run some clock. And if you can run some clock and end the possession with a bucket, so much the better. But you at least run some clock with a two-possession game at the moment.
High screen set by Saxon. Marciulionis got it to go.
A lot of offense runs through Tyson Degenhart. Cardenas with a rare miss. St. Mary's extremely good on the boards, plus 15 rebounds a game. On the offensive end, 43.4 in total. Augustas Marciulionis and St. Mary's looking to counter. You should expect a slow pace out of them tonight. They're 339th in the country in adjusted tempo, 345th in the NCAA of 364 teams, mind you, in average possession length. Marciulionis so crafty. Don't know if you could have drawn it up better for Leon Rice and his guys out of these first two media timeouts. Ashton Hardaway, of course, as you might expect, a transfer from Memphis. Saxon to Marciulionis. Wessels. Augustas Marciulionis. Tied with Alvaro Cardenas at 6 assists per game. That's 17th in the country. To the post with Degenhart. Great matchup here. Saxon wins it. Bennett on the run. Marciulionis finishes. Assistant coach Tim Duryea said nobody has worked harder than him to improve his game. The unquestioned leader of this Broncos squad puts them back up 2 possessions. Marciulionis. Broncos back up by a 3-point bucket. Augustas Marciulionis working on a 15-point game tonight. Broncos have had Paulos Maruskas to just 4 points off 1 of 4 shooting tonight. It's been Barrett and it's been Marciulionis, the 2 double-digit scores. Andrew McKeever, a redshirt freshman. Marciulionis, no fear.
On the glass, stealing the page from St. Mary's playbook there. Get it off the glass, find your shooters out in the corner, make them pay. Second chance points.
23 points a game, 6 in the country. One of the best 3-point shooters in the league is Madsen. Marciulionis answers.
Miro Little and his mates have fought back into this game. We got ourselves a 4-point game here in a ton of time to play. Can St. Mary's hang on? Seems like all the momentum has swung to the Utah sidelines.
Marciulionis, if anybody can find a way to do it.
December 19th. So, Brian, your trivia question is, what is Mary Mac's nickname?
You know, that's a great question, and I feel like it's something that I should fairly easily know, as Marciulionis finishes off the glass there for the rebound.
And in the WCC, Santa Clara gets a good win, 74-67 at McNeese. As Marciulionis
up by 15, just north of 3 minutes to play in the half. Shot blocked, and here comes Barrett. 2-on-1 for the Gales. Marciulionis off the glass. Horton working on Barrett, and Saxon rips the basketball away. Boy, he just put it right in his belly. And the Gales force the turnover. That's the 12th tonight for the Roadrunners. Ross lost a handle on it, floats it out to Barrett. Marciulionis, top of the arc for 3. Splash! Jaquan Scott with an answer the other way. Keeps it at a 15-point game.
And Saxon was unselfish there. He had a chance to go on the block, but got it to Marciulionis for the 3.
Those are the 3-pointers that are going to drive Randy Bennett mad. The 3 right after you make a 3 is Marciulionis with a pretty... It It was about to be a backcourt violation, too. Had that kickball not been called, that might have actually bailed St. Mary's out. Barrett to Ross. Shot clock to 7. Gale's got to move. Hardaway. Marciulionis found some space with one. Floats it up and in. Augustas went LV in 2 overtimes. UTSA lost to Florida Atlantic at home. St. Mary's wins the opening tip-off. Jordan Ross will start with it. Barrett to Marciulionis and now Ross. Ross just 6 points in regulation. Marciulionis knifes his way through the zone and gets the first.
Last game out yesterday versus New Mexico, he had 20 points, was only on 5 or 9 field goals. He has to get about 15 shots at least.
Transfer from Ball State, where he spent the last 3 seasons. Was one of the best scorers in the portal, 18.5 points per game. Marciulionis starts inside.
Steady point guard for Bobby Hurley and the Sun Devils.
Mason hit his first 2 shots. 5 early points. Marciulionis through the contact. It rolls home.
DJ Freeman looking determined to be able to score. Likes his matchup with whoever's guarding tonight.
9 points for the senior. 5-point lead for ASU. Marciulionis sneaks in. Had some English on it, and it dropped.
He take baseline, but he took it anyway.
A grown man finish. Marciulionis with 6 minutes to play. Steps into a 3 and hits. There wasn't a foul call there. Seven ties, 7 lead changes. Marciulionis turns on the Jets, hangs and hits off the window. Long way to go, but this is a terrific start for his squad. She had 1 for 2. St. Mary's needs to operate with urgency. It's Ross. Rolled off by Quaintance. Marciulionis with 5 seconds left, and it bounces in with 3.2. Earlier in this first half. Nothing came of it.
Nope. He said it was a basketball play. Saxon didn't think so.
Ashton Hardaway, the son of Memphis head coach and the 4-time NBA All-Star Penny Hardaway, on the floor for the first time this opening half for St. Mary's. Marciulionis falling away. Soft touch. St. Mary's program. Poked away by Marciulionis, and he races to the goal for 2. USC's 7th turnover tonight. Marciulionis with a head of steam for 2. Lewis leans in. Follows his miss. Marciulionis on target.
George. This is the bigger part for Reneker tonight, though. His matchup against Marciulionis, 2-time RMAC Defensive Player of the Year.
Marciulionis head fake. Gives it up to Marciulionis. Corner 3 on the way is good. So he layup is good for Tarlach. Good take for the Serbian native. Another transfer came over from Utah.
You know, one of the benefits of rolling with that smaller lineup, your 6'7" center can take it off the dribble.
Here's Ross. Saxon thought about setting a screen. Now it's Marciulionis driving in. His layup is good. It's maybe down to 3 positions from 5. You know, guard, wing, post. But it's a tough assignment. Marciulionis to inbound. Barrett looking to cross over. Inside to Saxon, the double team came. He kept possession, swings it out to Marciulionis. Marciulionis driving. Hanger in the lane is good.
For the open man, especially when that double comes to the post player.
Marciulionis, top of the key. Hardaway back to Marciulionis. Good defense there from Tarlach. Bennett Back to Goose. Another hop step in the lane, and the layup is in. Game 53-48. Gales still on top, but Cal Poly 7 of 9 from the field to start the half, a 9-0 run. They had 2 points off turnovers in the first half.
But still, that's the type of look they want. That was a good look from 3.
Yeah, Reniker, a 40%er from downtown on the season. Marciulionis gives it to Barrett. Now back to Marciulionis. Gales trying to be really deliberate. Go to their center instead of Marciulionis. 3 is in. Marciulionis makes it 64-54. Gales have their double-digit lead. Miss from Hyder. Here comes Ross the other way to Marciulionis. Marciulionis, layup is good. And off the inbound.
He's also got himself a double-double.
Saxon with the block. Ross the other way. Hands it to Marciulionis. Marciulionis into the lane, lays it in.
I will say that Stanislaus State was consistent last season. It scored 14 points in the first half and 14 in the second.
St. Mary's had 6 different players in double figures in that one.
And Stanislaus State, again, this is an exhibition game for the Warriors. So the Warriors' leading scorer, Jeremiah Jones, is hurt, and he is not playing tonight.
Averaging 20 again.
Not only was it a good shot block by Marciulionis, but he really stopped the drive in the first place, which enabled him to make the block.
Now here's Marciulionis. You're talking about the top there. He's 6'8", but he can bring the ball up. Arizona transfer.
Had double-doubles in his first 3 games.
Nice crossover. Marciulionis with contact. Gets it to go.
20-24-25.
Both free throws off. Wessels with the board. Mikey Lewis in for the first time. East Bay native from Oakland. Marciulionis, 3.
Teams already this season with father, son, coach, and player on the roster.
Speaking of which, there's Ashton Hardaway.
Here's
Saxon. Turnaround. Double pump fake. Out for Barrett. Extra pass. Marciulionis, 3. Swish. 11.8 the year before, but he didn't play much his first couple of years. And he was WCC Defensive Player of the Year last year.
Yet another player who has benefited from the Gales player development program, so to speak.
Marciulionis.
Shoveling it to Morgan, off the glass again.
A good job by Morgan of catching, gathering, didn't bail out the defender by putting it on the floor and then put his shoulder to the rim.
Wow, what a move there from Marciulionis. Did that look like his...
The defender allowing the defender to recover. They're the proper use, creating necessary space.
The guy that Brad Underwood wanted in Champaign. Illinois was in the final group. Stayed home in Northern California to play at St. Mary's. Marciulionis for 3, and it goes. And with that... Marciulionis pulls up and drills him.
St. Mary's leads by 15 with just north of 14 to play in the game. Augustas Marciulionis, quiet from a scoring perspective tonight, hasn't made a shot, but of course, he makes that one tonight.
The pregame talk of the Zips wanting to shoot threes and making a lot of threes was not just talk.
It has been a long time since St. Mary's has allowed that many points from three-point range. Both teams with 6 fouls here in half number 2. 1 more to the bonus.
The Gales already have a double-double with Marciulionis, and Mitchell Saxon and Augustas Marciulionis could get double-doubles themselves.
And Marciulionis is to it. Marciulionis into the corner for Lewis. Contested 3, that one short. Luke Barrett races his way in for the rebound. Out to Marciulionis, who drains the play in the opening half. Gales up by 4. Melson, left glass, bounces high, and Wessels with the rebound.
Again, the pick and roll. Melson took it all the way to the bucket. Had a good look, just didn't go.
Marciulionis alone at the top, and he drains it.
The Mocs, nice adjustment by Richards on going to the left hand.
Mock shooting 73% here in the second half and 50% for the game. Marciulionis found a crease and finds. Marciulionis inbounds to Saxon, a little off the mark. Marciulionis offensive rebound and prior to Chattanooga taking down Louisville last season. It was not a great year for the Cardinals last year in the ACC. However, that's a pretty big win for Chattanooga to go up against Louisville and ACC. Around Marciulionis. Hardaway got a hand in there. Loose ball into the corner. Huff chucks up a three. It's just off the mark, and Ashton Hardaway has the board.
Again, I'm a little surprised that the Mocs haven't gotten the ball more often to Diouf on the block, with Saxon having 4 fouls.
Marciulionis to Saxon up top. Tries to set a screen for Marciulionis. It worked. He goes from the free throw line, and Marciulionis
dissuade Randy from considering the zone.
7th three-pointer made tonight by the Mocs. They're 7 of 18. Less than half their shots have come from three-point range, though, which is a surprise. We thought we'd see more, but not a bad percentage. Marciulionis wants to counter, and he rattles that one home.
That Mekhi Richard might be the best player on the floor for the Mocs this evening.
I wouldn't say you're wrong with that one. Tied for a team best 14 with Honor Huff. Marciulionis wants to stay hot. Oh my goodness.
I'm not a real good math major, Brian, but I think that would be a lot of fouls if that's over 40 minutes.
So the Gales will reset the shot clock to 20, and Marciulionis found some space and gets it off and 3 turnovers.
You know, he's on pace to go to shoot 1,000% for the season.
That'd be a pretty good year.
I think so.
Marciulionis for 3. He